So the Chiefs can win this NFL draft, but only with one strategy, and we're going to talk about it.
You're listening to All Chiefed Up.
What it is, Chiefs Kingdom. Let's go, baby. How we doing today? It's Thursday night, April the freaking 10th. It's my daughter's 8th birthday today. Happy birthday, Piper. Let's go. It is. How you doing, Mike? How we doing, Chiefs Kingdom? Get in the comments. Do us a favor, hit that like button, get this out to more people. We're going to talk draft strategy, and we're going to do a mock draft today, Mike.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't done many mock drafts, so this is going to be one of the first ones I get to do, and I'm pretty pumped about it. So
I think we've done one other one on like a members-only live stream, maybe.
It was only 2 rounds, though, right?
2 or 3. We're going to do the whole damn thing today. Let's do 7 rounds, baby. We'll do all the picks. It'll be fun. And what strategy would you use if you were the Chiefs, Mike? We talked about that in the title. The Chiefs can win this NFL draft. They can really beef this team up. They can do things that they need to do. They can take care of some loose ends. But how do they go about it? I don't think they can do that by pigeonholing themselves to certain positions.
No, I think they have to take best player available across the board. I think Brett Veach has set them up to do that. I think he's been very strategic in his signings and who he's brought back, and he's not left a lot of holes. And so I think it's going to look pretty fun on draft night. I think you may even get a few players that you did not expect because of this. There may be some players that people think shouldn't even be drafted to round 3 and 4 you may see in the second round conversation. So Brett Veach is always the Chiefs are always wild about that. Like they did it with Brian Cook a few years ago and different things. Like they will always take a player just a few rounds earlier than people think, and it sets everyone off because they keep hearing that, like, you know, those guys don't get as much buzz.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. I think the way that Brett Veach has set up this roster during the offseason so far, that he really wants to be in that position. I think without a doubt, that's the position he wants to be in, is to go into the draft with an open mind, open board, whatever, whoever's the best one there. When they pick, that's who they're going to take, whatever's at the top of their board. Shout out Shahariat Houchins, Alaska Chiefs.
Straight from Alaska. Shahari, you might be the first one that we've ever had from Alaska in here.
We needed a Hawaii. We got a Hawaii one time, right? Like, I think we've hit almost all the states now.
Dude, I love Alaska. I want to go to Alaska. We had a friend in high school that up and moved himself to Alaska for a few years. He loved it.
Yeah. Had another one that was a ranger in the military, and he kept getting stuck in Alaska until he almost lost his mind.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Alaska, man. I want to check it out one of these days. It's going to be fun.
All right, let's talk about this draft just real quick, and then we'll get into a mock draft. I think that'll be fun for us to do tonight. Once again, appreciate you guys for being here. Do your boys a favor, hit the like button, share this with a friend, do whatever you got to do. Let's get this thing rolling, baby. Chiefs Kingdom is MIA this offseason. They're taking a break. I think the Super Bowl's got them down. It's got them down bad. But you know what? It's time to come back. Time to get back up on that nag,
Do you
Mike.
blame them? Do you blame them, though? I mean, it's been kind of straight football year-round for about 3 years.
Well, yeah, but that's what we love, right? You should be happy about that. You should be happy about it.
I see somebody post a meme today, and the Chiefs actually had posted a picture of the of like Mahomes throwing a touchdown pass with his hands up, and they were like, "We wish it was football time again." And the first comment I seen cracked me up because you could relate to it. He was like, He said, "There's only 4 enjoyable games last year, and I'm not ready to get this back." And I laughed, dude, because I was like, you know, it does feel like torture at times.
Right. Well, I think that's one thing I would like to see in this draft, Mike. And I, like I've said, and you agree, I think best player available is the way they're going to go. So I don't think it matters what position these guys are. I think whoever's at the top of their board when it's time for them to pick, I think that's who they're going to take. But I shouldn't say I should say but. I want to see that offense shook up a little bit. I want to see something happen to rock the boat and to get them off their ass, because they have been pretty damn stagnant for a couple years now. Something's just a little off there. Something's stale. It's not good. It's game planning. It's the players. It's a lot of different things. But I think it's time to shake it up a little bit.
Oh.
Let's go, baby.
Gifted sub from Stoic, baby.
Membership. Let's go. Appreciate it.
Gifted membership. There's supposed to be a train coming through, but click the wrong button. Just
Look
click the
what you
wrong
did.
button.
You tried to wake us all up with an air horn instead.
Yeah, I was trying to get the air horn going. I mean, it's an air horn kind of day.
Air horned up. That's what
Air
you
horn
are.
up.
Man. Well, if y'all got any questions before we get into this draft, go ahead and throw them over in the chat. We'll talk to you for a little bit and do all that good stuff. Let us know what kind of players you like, what you think the Chiefs should do. I've seen a lot of people talking about having a nice running back, Mike. A lot of people are saying running back, running back, running back. But 4 years ago when they took Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 5 years ago, whatever it was, I don't think that was the sentiment. I think ever since then, it's like we were not drafting a running back ever, unless it's the 7th round.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird how things change.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Oh, this time the train got through. There we go.
Our boy Shane. What's
Shane
up,
with the
Shane?
gifted. Appreciate you guys.
Let's go. If y'all got those memberships, make sure to thank those guys.
What's up, Jesse? Yeah, it's Steve. It's just been a wild week. It's been a wild week. I'm ready for some normalcy. I'm ready for some draft.
Mike,
But I really have not had a lot of time to dig in, and I've got to start doing that this week. I've got to make more time because before you know it, it's already the 10th of April.
Yeah, we just got a few weeks left, and we haven't even done our first official mock.
That's going to be early next week. We're going to do that over the weekend for sure. We have to.
We need to go ahead and rank our defensive players.
Yeah.
We'll just, we'll do that. We'll knock it out as quick as we can. Get to the first mock. We'll probably tweak that once or twice before the actual draft, but we'll see if we can hit some players this year, man. So far, so good since we started the channel. So hopefully we can keep that streak going.
It's tough to hit them, man.
It is
400 players per draft, and you get about 5, 6, 7 picks. It's tough. Jay Kelsey been a member for 19 months. Says hope we can get the offensive tackle from Ohio. I'm thinking Josh Simmons, Ohio State. There, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I read something today that said the Chiefs were not ruling out offensive tackle help just because they did sign Jalen Moore, and we said that we don't think they will either.
No, of course not.
I still feel like offensive tackle is probably a little bit more of a need than a lot of people saying that we may take a left guard, such as Booker from Alabama.
I don't understand that one. I don't want to invest too much at guard because we already did that once with Joe Thuney. We paid him a boatload of money, and don't get me wrong, that was a good idea. I think that was great. Now we got to turn around. We got to pay Trey Smith out the butt. So if we have to pay Trey Smith a ridiculous amount for a guard, I don't want to go out and use early draft capital on a guard. I just don't want to.
But that means if you hit a good guard, though, then you get that nice rookie contract for 5 years.
Yeah, but I mean, you got Kingsley. You got him on a rookie contract for another 3 years. I think you could try him at that position. I think there's some other guys that we just drafted last year as well that play interior offensive line, like Hunter Norzad, C.J. Hansen, some of those guys. Well, I think we got some options there, even Wanye. So I don't know. I feel like you could stay in-house for that left guard position. But it is kind of questionable, though, because you do have a new left tackle, and you don't know what you got with him just yet. He does have good tape, but he hasn't been that starter before. He played behind Trent Williams, so we don't know exactly what he's got. And also blocking for Patrick Mahomes is a lot different than blocking for Brock Purdy. So let's get that straight. So, I mean, I think it could be a whole different thing for him, try to get in there and get going. But if they hit, they hit. And that could be the future left tackle for the Chiefs. But with him not being as experienced, and you have to kind of go to a lesser experienced guard, that left side of the offensive line could become sus real quick when you play a good defense.
True, but you're going to have a lesser experienced guard no matter what you do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, Caliendo is now like your most experienced left guard.
I mean, honestly, I think the most experienced offensive lineman we could put in that position would probably be Wanye Morris. Quite honestly.
He's got the body type and the athleticism to be a quality guard, in my opinion.
I think so, too. I think that's what we thought from the get-go. Like, maybe he could be a right tackle or a guard, but left tackle was never in the cards for that kid, I don't think.
And there were times that he looked okay at left tackle, which shows his athleticism.
Yeah, but it was a little in over his head, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. We got 5 here from Buck and Bob's.
What's up?
Baby. He says, guys, can we talk about the elephant in the room today? Why has Veach not signed Trey Smith to a long-term contract yet? Yeah, Steve, what do you think? I think they're working on it. I think it just takes a little bit of time because there's a lot of money involved in this one.
Yes, like I said, especially for a guard. Like, it's going to be a big contract, which, don't get me wrong, he deserves it, and the guard market has shot through the roof, so it's not crazy, but I don't know.
Is
I
there
think
still a chance for
a
a
tag and
trade?
trade. That's what I was going to say. I think a lot of people are getting a little antsy because they think maybe Brett Veach might go in that route. They saw that happen with L'Jarius Sneed last season, Mike. A lot of people were like, "That's not. They would never trade him." You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. They like to do that kind of thing from time to time. Because I mean, if you're going to lose a top tier player, you might as well get something for him instead of just letting him walk. So I mean, is that a possibility? Yes, I will say that it's a possibility, but I do think they're trying to get a contract done.
Yeah. Well, look, you have to remember that this contract negotiation, and we're assuming there's a contract negotiation, there's not been any public knowledge or insider info that says that Brett Veach is shopping Trey Smith. L'Jarius Sneed was already traded by this point. We've been in contracts now with Trey Smith for almost 2 more weeks longer. We traded L'Jarius Sneed at the end of March, I believe. So we're well over pushing that 14, 15, 16 day mark of extra. So I think time is getting very close to the trade possibility being over unless you pulled off like something like really close to the draft or a draft day trade. And I think it's as close as it gets to the draft. I don't know if that becomes such a – people start falling in love with players. They want to keep some picks. You know what I'm trying to say? They want some capital. So I think the closer you get to the draft, they start getting a little grubby with the picks. And so you're not going to get as much out of them, I don't think.
Yeah, for sure, man. I do think they'll get a contract done, though. I like I said, it's a possibility, but I don't think it's a big one.
Yep. The old paths with 5, baby. Says, okay, I like Sebastian Castro from Iowa. I think strategy should be best player available, and we got to get one of those disruptive defensive tackles. I agree, Steve. I think defensive tackle is got to be something we look at because Pennell's not getting any younger.
Right.
Have we even re-signed Pennell back? Yeah, I think we got Pennell back. We just did it last week,
of course, Pennell's that nose tackle type.
Right, we're not getting any younger there. And so you've lost Turk Wharton, who was like a younger-ish guy. Chris Jones is now 31, I believe, or late 30, 31, somewhere in that ballpark. It's time you have to start investing in the defensive line a little bit. They did it with Karlaftis. They did it with Felix on the defensive ends, and I wouldn't be surprised if you don't invest a little bit more there too, because now Charles Omenihu's on a 1-year deal, right?
They did sign him back, right? And they also got Tillery. So, I mean, they're trying to patch that up. And by patch it up, I don't mean that it's bad. I mean, they're just kind of 1 year in this thing. And Brett Veach has been doing that for a while.
Brett Veach
now,
MO.
Right? So, I mean, that's not a surprise. I think they could invest some in a defensive tackle, but I don't think it's like necessary. Like, would I like it? Yes. And do I think it's a good idea? Yes. But I don't think it's like you have to do this. Like, I don't think
you have to take one throughout the draft somewhere, though, right?
Potentially, I don't know. We've thought that a couple years in a row, and sometimes they just completely skip it, and then they would end up with some random person like Neil Farrell Jr. or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying?
Or Matt Dickerson.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if they have to do anything. I think that's the beauty of it, and the way that Brett Veach set this up. They don't have to do anything. But if a good one were to fall to them, cool, take them. Like, I just think that's kind of the name of the game this draft.
I agree. Let's say they got 2 or 3 defensive tackles on their board and it just doesn't fall properly by the 3rd round. They may just not like nobody and just say, screw it. We just can't
exactly.
do it.
And is it really going to hurt? I mean, you're already in the position to where I think they have a decent defensive line. Could it be improved? Absolutely. But you also have to think, man, they really helped themselves with the Christian Fulton signing at corner, because what they've allowed themselves to do now is, with a healthy Jalen Watson, is to put those guys on the outside and get Trent McDuffie back into the nickel where he absolutely eats. And all of a sudden, you got guys that can cover across the field. It's going to give them a little more time to get home, up front. So I think that could help. Just as much as, like having Chris Jones helps the corners, I think having good corners that can cover.
Does it bother you a little bit, though, that Trent McDuffie's contract's coming up and he's going to get paid? And we're still trying to find a way to get him back into the nickel?
I don't think it was necessary. I think Trent McDuffie was still a top 5 corner even on the outside. But if you give it an opportunity to put him into the spot where he's comfortable, where he's completely dominant, then why not?
Well, do you deserve the contract he's going to get as a number one corner
Mike,
if you slide back in primarily to a nickel position?
If you remember, we had him for a while. Kendall Fuller. He was a
Fuller.
damn good nickel, and he got paid a lot. And that's the thing, man. I think if you're just really good, it doesn't matter. And also with guys like that, like Trent McDuffie, they are flexible. If you need to move them outside, you can do that. And he's still going to be locked down. Mike, all season he was in everybody's hip pocket. The only thing that even kind of, hurt Trent McDuffie sometimes is his size. He gets against a bigger guy. And it's funny because they asked him who his top 3 wide receivers were in the league. And he named, Chase and Jefferson, I think, or the obvious ones. And he was like, you know what? For the third one, I'm going to go a little outside of the box here, and I'm going to say somebody that don't get enough credit. I'll take Cortland Sutton from Denver. Cortland Sutton eats his lunch every time they play. And that's just a testament to him struggling with the bigger receivers. And we saw A.T. Perry do it to him in the preseason a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's just, it's tough for him. Even if he's in their hip pocket, if the ball's thrown properly, it's still hard for him to defend. And I think that's always going to be a part of his game. That's going to be like the downside. But, I mean, overall, he's still a top 5 corner in the league no matter what you do. So I think he gets paid regardless.
Yeah, that's the case with any corner. A well-thrown ball is undefendable half the time. And again,
it's true. And like you've mentioned, all the rules are slated towards the offense now. It's tough. It's tough.
And that's sometimes why we all wish Mahomes would take a little bit more chances and to throw it more tight spaces sometimes and give his receivers a chance. But there's reasons why he hasn't done that, I assume. Man, you want to get into the draft? You want to get into some mock draft?
Sure. I mean, are you guys ready to mock draft? Y'all ready? Y'all got to help us a little bit.
I don't know if they're ready, man.
At least throw your opinions out there a little bit. Everybody's a little quiet tonight. We got to wake up a little bit. I know it's Thursday, but that means tomorrow's Friday. You got one more crappy day, and then you get the weekend, So let's wake up a little bit. Let's have some fun with a mock draft.
Okay, so here's how we're going to do it, Steve. We'll talk through these picks, and then if we need help, we'll take it from everybody in the chat. How about that?
Let's do it.
Or better yet, they can just chime in at any point.
So we're just going to do no trades?
Yeah, we'll do no trades. I don't really want to have to deal with all that. It's hard enough to get the actual picks
and before,
right.
Before you hit the start draft button, since we brought that up, we'll do no trades in this one. But in the actual draft, what do you think the chances are that the Chiefs were to move up or down in the first round?
Here, I'll tell you what. Well, if I go slow here with trades, can I speed it back up at any point?
I'm sure you could. But you know what? The trades on here are kind of unrealistic.
Yeah, but you can make them realistic.
All right, let's do it. Do it.
So
trades.
I'll just keep it on the slow. And if it's too slow, we'll go through. I just want to kind of see who falls. So let's see what happens. So you've got Abdul Carter.
Yeah, Julia said we should have traded up for him. What were we thinking?
Possibly. Travis Hunter, Mason Graham. So presumably there's a few guys that you would maybe consider getting into the top 24. Say the top 23, 25, somewhere in that range.
Just depending on how the board falls, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think some of it, one of the guys are probably off the board already, which was the tackle. There's another tackle that you would probably consider. Although Steve Mimbu is just basically a right tackle.
Right, yeah. I don't know. I mean, could it be like a Jawan Taylor replacement? Maybe.
Right.
But I think I'm
going to pause this right here. Okay. Not saying they're going to trade, but let's have a look at...
A little look-see.
It doesn't let us see who's on the board just yet.
Yeah, it does. You just have to click up the top somewhere, I think.
No, sir.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, so it's not letting us see.
Well, you know who's been picked.
Yeah, so we know who's been picked. There are still some tackles on the board. Is 16 too early to come up and take a tackle that we've talked about, such as a
Calvin
Banks or a Josh Simmons or a Connerly? I feel like Steve, if Simmons is able to work out for any teams before this draft, I do firmly believe Simmons could be off the board before we pick.
Agreed. I've said that this whole entire time. Like, if his medicals check out, He's good enough. He could be a backside of the first round, easy. So 15 to 25, even somewhere in that range. Like I think as long as his medicals check out and they're not afraid of that, I think he's good enough. But in this particular position, you're sitting at pick 16. That means you have what 15 picks until we pick.
Yeah, it's a little too rich to
You
come up
got
here.
3 potential tackles on the board that could be worthy of a first round draft pick, and you just mentioned them all: Banks, Simmons, Connerly. So I think at this point you just kind of let it roll.
Yeah, I think you let it roll. Wide receiver, Steve. Emeka Egbuka's still on the board. Luther Burden, Matt Golden still on the board. But I don't think they come up for a receiver 2 years in a row. It just doesn't make sense.
No, I think they'll take a receiver if one falls to them and it's the top of their list. But other than that, I don't think they're after anybody.
Right. Mason Graham's off the board, but you've still got Tyleek Williams. You still got Shamar Turner. You still got Walter Nolan. You don't think that's a possibility here either because there's just too many
Absolutely
left,
not.
correct?
Mike, I'd be scared as hell to take Walter Nolan at 31, let alone trade up. That's crazy.
So I would say the only player here that would be worthy of a trade up this high, which the Chiefs would never do, would probably be Omarion Hampton. That's the one guy.
Right, and you're not doing that.
And you're not doing that. You're never going to do that.
Yeah,
There's
let
just
it
no
roll.
way. Do I need to blow this up for everybody to see better? Or
I can see it pretty decent. I think. I don't know. Y'all let us know in the chat.
could we maybe do
I can see it, but I don't know if
this?
they can.
Nope.
I
that's
don't think that
worse.
makes any difference, man.
That's even worse.
Just there
Okay,
we go.
there we go. Okay, well, let's resume. And I'll pause it again at pick 20 and see if anybody's still on the board. Kenneth Grant just went off the board, so there goes an interior player. Golden's off. Josh Simmons, there he is. Okay, look, I'll go ahead and pause it. Josh Simmons right here makes complete sense.
It does.
If Josh Simmons is allowed to work out, and they think that he probably is, it does make a lot of sense. And especially even with the Steelers right here who just lost Dan Moore, right? So you've got plenty of these teams. You've got the Vikings needing offensive line at pick 24. So there's several here. And to be honest, the Seattle Seahawks right there. So look, you've got Kelvin Banks. It's still like he's the next one off the board. So if the Chiefs want a top tier guy, it's Connerly or Banks, Steve. We rank Banks higher.
Banks easy. I would
By
take
quite a margin.
I think I would take Banks over Josh Simmons. I think Banks is obviously the best pass protector in this draft, and that's what we need.
But he
That's
is
what we need.
not. Okay.
He's got
not.
short arms.
Well, he's 33 or 33 and a half, but he is not the best zone blocking scheme guy. So Connerly and Simmons is way better than Banks there. So is that something that maybe ties into the Chiefs because they do run a lot of like getting their tackles out moving, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. To me, I think for what we need and what we've struggled with over the last few years, I would go Banks. That's just
Right.
me, though.
Okay, well, Booga's off the board. We're going to keep it rolling. We're not going to keep this slow this entire time, by the way, just for the first round. So there he went. He went to
Pittsburgh, right?
To Pittsburgh, and exactly why I said he would. Dan Moore is out. I think they need a tackle, and then they just drafted the big kid, the project last year from Georgia. His name's slipping my mind, Steve, but
DeJuan Jones.
no, not DeJuan Jones.
Was that his name?
That was Ohio State.
Oh, you're talking about Amari Mims or no?
Yeah, Amarius Mims.
Amarius Mims, yeah.
Yeah, so they
Okay.
drafted him last year. So
Yep.
they would have two reasonably pretty decently young, good tackles there. So, okay, so there's no tackles on the board. So I think at this point, again, you're sitting back and you're doing exactly what Brett Veach is going to do. We're just going to take best player available.
Yeah.
And Omarion Hampton's still not on the board. Would you still consider trading up to pick 23 for Omarion Hampton?
I don't think you trade up for a running
I don't think
back.
you can either. It doesn't make any
I
sense.
think if they are there when they get there, I think if you were going to trade up for a running back, you would have went and got Jahmyr Gibbs, right?
Yes, last year.
Well, a couple years ago now, but yeah, that's exactly what you would have done. If they wouldn't do that for him, they're not going to do it for Hampton. So let's keep that rolling and see what happens.
Shamar Stewart, Noller come off the board. So there's two defenders right there coming off.
Jalen Walker.
Colston Loveland comes off the board. Not too upset about that.
James
James
Pierce.
Pierce. There's
Well,
Hampton. Why in the world?
Would the Lions take him?
Well, they maybe need a feature one, right?
No,
'Cause-
they have two. Did they not get? They've got Montgomery back and they got Gibbs, right?
Yeah, but Montgomery's getting a little older. He's getting a little long in the tooth. So maybe Hampton. I mean, it could be a good play.
Maybe it was one of those things where it's best player available for them. Take
Could
it.
be. Okay, man. Pick 29 here for Washington. I guess we're just going to run it out because I'm not really seeing nobody. I'm fine with Gray Zabel coming off the board. He's going to be more of a tackle or more of a guard.
Scourton.
And Nick Scourton is off the board, which I'm completely fine with. So, okay, let's have a look here at pick 21. And let's go to let's filter positions. I don't want to look at everything along the board. Let's just look at wide receiver first. And this is not a huge need for us. But still, you got Ale Manor, Higgins, Besh, Royals, Kyle Williams, Trey Harris, who I believe Trey Harris is coming up a lot of boards. He's one that's rising here pretty good. Jalen Noel being
Isaiah Bond, however, could be dropping.
This guy is just completely falling off the planet.
Depending on what happens with that a sexual assault case.
Right. Tesla is actually flying up boards big time. But
Well, he should be.
yes.
It's crazy that he's that low.
Your only first round, in my opinion, your only first round guys here for wide receiver left is Jaden Higgins and Besh. I think
And they're borderline. They're both borderline.
Yeah, and they're borderline. A.O. Manor, Royals, and Kyle Williams, Trey Harris, they're second-round guys, in my opinion.
Brian Parrott-Burden went up the board right after Egbuka.
Yeah, I didn't see that either, Brian. So I wasn't – yeah, he went right here. It went Egbuka, Burden,
To the Broncos, which wouldn't surprise me for the Broncos to take something like that.
No, it really wouldn't. So, yeah, so it looks like wide receiver would be off the board here for the Chiefs. I don't think they take two.
I don't think so.
I don't think they take two. So let's look at tackle just to do our due diligence. Connerly's on the board, and I think Connerly's a short. I think we put him on the short list right here.
For sure.
Connerly's on the short list. Now, we did like Donovan Jackson, and I like Ariante Ursary as a round 2 pick. I think Ozzie Trapillo, Crazy Train, I think he is more of a right tackle only. Imbo, I think, is more of a center than he is a tackle. And Ciavania is a guard. Wyatt Mellum's going to be a guard. Cameron Williams, I think, shouldn't even have come out of the draft this year. I think he's an intriguing pick.
Got
but
some
I think
potential, I
early
suppose. But
day
that's
3.
about it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so here, I mean, I'm looking at Connerly. We'll put Connerly on the short list. Let's look at tight end just to look at him. Elijah Arroyo, I don't think he's going in the first, so I think we're good there. Running back, again, Scatabo, Sampson, Caleb Johnson, Travion Henderson, Judkins. To me, Judkins is going to be the highest rated one here.
Well, I've seen a lot of people saying that he could sneak into the back end of the first round. Quinton Judkins is going up.
Yeah, he's going up board. So if the Chiefs wanted Judkins primarily, you're probably going to have to take him here. But the way he's ranked on this site, he could be here in round 2.
Potentially. Mike, is there another position you wanted to look at? Because I have a suggestion.
I was just kind of looking down the board. What do you got? I'll look at defensive
seeing the players
here.
that are at each position. Unless you want to go Connerly, just to ensure the tackle, I say you trade back. See if you can trade out.
I like the trade out idea as well because with Derek Harmon, Darius Alexander, and Connerly on the board here, if you could get back and okay, so let's go see if the Titans took a quarterback.
Because if you could trade to the top-ish of the second round, you could probably still grab a Judkins or a Henderson.
The Titans took Abdul Carter, but the Titans also canceled their one-on-one visit with Shadur Sanders.
I think they end up taking Cam Ward. I think
right,
they're slap nuts like that. They've been drafting nothing but quarterbacks for like 4 years
right,
now.
But Cam Ward's off the board, and
right?
they've canceled their one-on-one with Shadur. Now, look, if you team Shadur with the Cleveland Browns, with Travis Hunter, that makes sense.
Yes.
So how about we see if Cleveland wants to come back into the first, because that just drops us back to the first pick. Okay.
But see, I don't think they would, though, because the Eagles aren't drafting Shadur Sanders.
You're right. You are right. But you don't get the 5th round. You don't get the 5th round.
Well, true. That could make it. That could make
or
it
the fifth year.
5th year option. Yes, I know what you meant.
So would they give up 2 picks for a 5th year option? Very possible. But Shadur's also kind of the a-hole that would just sit out anyway.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like if he thinks he's worth more, I think he just sits out anyway, right?
Definitely got.
So I think
got
you're
the
right.
Ego.
So maybe somebody
What
jumps
about the Giants
the Browns.
jumping?
Yeah, maybe the Giants jump to take Shadur.
Or the Titans. They still need a quarterback.
They canceled their one-on-one with Shadur.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That don't mean anything.
The Giants took Mason Graham. Let's do the Giants. They've got a little Chiefs stuff here and there.
There's some connections.
Let's see if the Giants, because we definitely wouldn't let the Raiders do it.
Nah.
These two teams don't need to. The Patriots and the Bears. I don't think Jacksonville's
I think it's either the
do it.
Giants or the Titans, right?
It's the Giants or the Titans, and we'll say
maybe the
Giants.
Titans would want to jump the Giants to grab.
Let's see if anybody's doing it. So Cleveland, we're not going to try to trade with Cleveland. Let's try the Giants. I like that one. So the Giants, presumably, we won't pick 34. They're going to take pick 31. Okay. It says this trade is lopsided. Your team owner will veto it. Yeah, you think. So we are going to wait.
Let's try. They have two.
Oh yeah, I was making sure I wasn't thinking. Okay,
So we have three, or I'm sorry, we have 2 third-rounders.
You're not getting another top 100 pick.
Go
here.
for the 105 pick.
I think that's too rich.
Try
to move
99.
up 2
Just
picks.
just
I'm
for
not
shits and
ripping them
giggles,
off.
Mike.
I want something to do that's normal. I
Okay.
think we take
Well,
Seattle pick
just
154.
See what they're saying. Go 105. They said that's a 50. Is that? What?
They say it's an 81.
So try 99 and just see where the cutoff is. Okay, yeah,
It's
that's
off.
it. 105.
Well, no,
you
hold
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I still had that one going. 67%. I just don't think a normal team is giving up a top
If they
100
really
pick to move
want
up.
that quarterback, dude. If they
I
really,
think you may be able to get 105. I think
Is this-
105 is fair.
is this
Let's
the
call
Giants
105.
Okay.
I don't want to be too stupid about it. Let's just
Okay.
give them 105 and be done with it.
Don't be too stingy.
Offer the trade. They accept it. Okay. Resume the draft. So now
See who they
we've officially moved back into the first round. Or
And they
out.
took
And they
Shadur
took
Sanders.
Shadur. So they took the person we thought they would. So look,
Derek
that
Carmen
worked
of the
out
Eagles.
perfectly, right? Mm-hmm. And then Connerly comes off the board. Cleveland is so mad that we let Shadur Sanders be
They
drafted.
took our guy.
That they took our guy.
So I think
This is
I think
perfect
the writing's
payback.
on the wall here. If you're at 34 and you just traded back, you actually gained draft capital. I think you can go ahead and take a shot here and take Quinshon Judkins with the 34 pick.
I'm not comfortable taking Quinshon Judkins with our first pick in the draft.
I'm not like super
You think a
comfortable
running
with
back's
it.
that important with all the other good running backs still on the board?
It's not, but you've also opened your options up, right? Because you got another essentially top 100 pick. So you have 3 more picks in the top 100.
Well, you've got to be
After
very
this.
close here because you need a tackle. Okay. And I
Okay,
think
you have plenty of opportunities to take some of these other guys.
it's too early to take Ariante Ursary here. But if you lose out on him at 63, you just shot yourself in the foot by Josh Connerly coming off the board.
There's no way I'm taking.
You're not taking Ursary here. That's what I'm
Ursary
saying.
here.
But I'm just saying in hindsight now, you have to know why. You have to understand why teams make this move, right? And so they say, look, if we lose Connerly here, now it's Ursary. And if we don't get Ursary at pick 60-something, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, no, I
And
don't.
even Ursary at 60-something is not guaranteed that he's going to
If
come
they
into
took
play.
Arante Ursary at this pick with Quinshon
They're not taking Ariante
Judkins,
Ursary.
or I can't say that guy's name for nothing. If you take that guy, the guy that I can't say his name, and there's people like Judkins or even Henderson or like if you go to the wide receivers, I'm sure there's just some better options here. We've been talking the whole time like they're going to take best player available. They're not going to take.
I did not say they're taking Ursary. I'm just making the point, Steve. If that you wait on Ursary where he's supposed to be picked at the end of the second and he's off the board, then we've shot ourselves in the foot and you have no tackles available. And so I'm just saying that may be an exercise for the Chiefs as to why you don't trade out of the first round, even if it's only 2 or 3 picks back, because you may lose Connor.
Do you think they're that horned up over a tackle? Like, do you think that they're in a position where they think
That's what I'm saying.
they
If
got to
they-
get one of those guys?
If they think we need a good tackle, then you almost had to take Connerly there because he's the only one that fit our system.
I'm not so sure that they're convinced they have to.
They may not be.
So I don't know. What else we got? Let's just go to the entire thing. I just want to see like the actual big board itself.
A safety? No. Now, we have met with Trey Amos. Do you think they would take a Trey Amos here after
No.
signing Christian Fulton?
No.
Not so sure. Darius Alexander, that's probably on a short list. That kid's making a lot of waves, and he plays
Yeah, making some
interior,
noise.
and he's also more of he's a gapper type of guy, but he's big against the run too. So
Y'all kill me in the chat.
Why?
Sam reaching hornet levels never before seen.
Oh,
Sam's reaching through his screen and shaking you guys right now.
who's Sam?
Sam
why's
Lofton.
Yeah, but why is he reaching through our screen and shaking us? He's mad that we lost our tackle. Has he got a specific player he wants? And I'm thinking this Judkins.
Scroll up. Yeah. Quinshon Judkins.
I'm just looking for Darius Alexander. 6'4", 305. I think he's going to be borderline round 1, round 2. I wouldn't be surprised the Chiefs didn't take Darius Alexander over Judkins, but we could take Judkins if that's what you all want. I just think it's wild that you're going to take a running back.
We don't have to. But
I do understand, again, you're in the same position. If Judkins, he's not going to last to our next pick probably. And so if that is the running back you desperately want.
I mean, if it was like literally up to like me or you or whoever, then it's like, well, you know what? You could, Caleb Johnson's still on the board or like some guys, but that's not guys they're going to take. I think
Mel Kiper actually had us taking Caleb Johnson in his latest mock.
I don't see the Chiefs actually doing that. I would be okay with it. I'd be happy, but I don't think they would ever do it. I think they would go one of the OSU guys. Like either one.
Well, since there's not an obvious tackle here.
Well, and you looked at the defensive tackles.
There's no defensive ends on the board that's probably worth a pick here. You have Pierce, Ezeraku, Shamar Stewart, Mike Green, Mikael Williams, Abdul Carter. Those guys are all off the board. The top 7 guys have come off the board. So you're looking at somebody like a Jack Sawyer, Brady Swinson. I think Landon Jackson's a little bit overrated. Princely Uman Milan, I think he's got a lot of tape that I just don't love.
Right. Ray and Brian said this is really unrealistic. I'd be interested to wonder why you guys think it's super unrealistic.
Because we traded, maybe?
I don't know. Because I feel like this board's kind of fell the way I think it might. Like, I don't see nothing crazy. Do you?
Well, that's the thing. You get on draft night, and some of the things that you think makes a lot of sense just don't happen.
That's
and so you
true,
end
too.
up in positions like this, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's why you do exercises such as this, as if we get to select the player, you know.
They're saying a running back in the first. Well, we're not in the first anymore. We're in the second.
No, but at the same time, this is basically a first-round pick, and I don't see it happening either.
No, I agree. I don't know if that would be a thing. But now, if you were in this position and Amarion Hampton's there, you think they wouldn't take it? Like, I don't think it matters what their position is. I think it's about the best player on the board.
Well, here's my thing. You've got Darius Alexander. I think he would go on a short list because he's a defensive tackle with defensive end traits. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I would be very Jaden Higgins, but he's an ex-receiver, and I don't know if the Chiefs want that. Tyleek Williams at defensive tackle would be a consideration. I love Jack Besh, but you've also got a couple corners. Maxwell Hairston, Siobhan Ravel. Ravel's coming off an ACL kind of thing. Hairston ran a nice, but I just don't know if they're going to take the corner here either. And then right down here, you've got Tyler Booker, who may be the best player on the board. And we just talked about not needing a guard, but yet guard is right here our top 3 needs. So after all the talk of not doing it,
I wouldn't be as pissed at a guard pick if we traded back out of the first round.
Right, because
we gained something from it.
We got something out of it. So in my opinion, I think you passed Judkins, and I know Sam's going to be so sad, but I think you passed Judkins because you still got Trevion Henderson down here at 58, and I think you have a chance to snag him.
And
you've also got a
Johnson
Jalen
guy.
Royals down here, so I don't think a receiver's super important. You've got a Darian Porter, so I don't think the corner's super important. I know the Chiefs like Darian Porter. Well, Judkins is actually ranked 65. It's very possible, Steve, Judkins could be here. But if you don't take the tackle at 67, if Ursery's on the board and you don't take him, you're in trouble at your next pick. So with that being
you
said,
still have
what
a
are we
pick
gonna
at the
do?
back end of the second round, and then you got a top pick in the third round. So I think.
So what do you take here? You make the call. You can have it.
Don't kill me, Sam. I think I want to take Booker here and see if Judkins falls to our next pick.
So you're going to go ahead and take, after all the guard talk that we said we didn't need, you're going to take a guard.
I don't agree with it completely, but I think if you could trade back and you got an extra top 100 pick, essentially, it was 105. But if he's still there, then that's just good value. You take care of a need, and then you try to see if the guy that your guy falls. I mean,
I think I would pick Darius Alexander. And so,
okay,
should we put him in a poll and let the people decide? Give them 2 minutes to decide. Is that something we can do?
I mean, why not?
Why don't we just let everybody put it in the chat? You don't have to do a poll. Just throw in the chat. Do you want Booker the guard, or do you think Darius Alexander the defensive tackle?
Because now both of those Ohio State guys could come off the board between now and our next pick. Too,
but I think you got a good shot of them being there.
You think so?
One of them. I'm just very curious what everybody thinks. Mark Prohl says we need a stud running back.
Dude, I'm telling you, a lot of people are on that train.
LOL. Steve, I'm seeing tons of Alexanders here, bro. I think you lost that debate.
Okay.
Oh, there's a Booker here.
Sam's on.
Julia says Sam's about to
He's like, I swear to God, if you don't pick Judkins right now.
I think you may take Alexander here, man, just because, like you said, I think we're good with guard, and we drafted a lot of guards last year. But Booker is, by all means, the best guard in this entire draft.
So you want to chance a defensive insider from Toledo on your first pick in the draft?
With his production, being an exact Spags guy that can play inside and out, I mean, he was pretty dominant. I don't love him, but from where we're sitting, he's kind of like the Booker thing of like, it's kind of a no-brainer at this point.
All right, do it then. Go for it. That's fine. I think a lot of people agree with you, so that's okay. Old Pat Zabel's gone already. He went earlier in the first round.
Okay, we'll take Darius Alexander just for craps and gigs. So here we go. Let's see what's going on. A.L. Manor's off the board. I'll keep it slow for the first 2 rounds just in case, maybe
so Sam can watch his dreams get crushed.
Maybe okay.
In
look,
real
if
time.
Judkins lasts to pick 45-ish, maybe we come up for Judkins. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Potentially. I mean, it's something that Brett Veach would do is move up.
Okay, so Booker come off at 42. So I think we were right with Booker. He ended up lasting a little bit more, which means we would have reached on him a little bit.
I'm surprised the Cowboys didn't take a running back there.
Me too.
We don't pick to win 62.
We're coming up pretty close. There comes the 2 corners we talked about. Donovan Jackson. We'll see what the Bengals do. They may screw us.
I'm not feeling good for Sam right now. Yeah, you might want to look into trade.
I'm going to pause it here. So look, we're at 50. We're at 63. So we'd have to come up 13 spots. So let's just look and see what you'd have to give Seattle.
So can I ask you a question though?
Let's see what you'd have to give Seattle.
But what you're about to do is trade up here to take Quinshon Judkins, right? Who you wouldn't even take when you traded back in the first round. So essentially you're giving away your extra pick that you ended up with for a similar scenario.
Well, you would have to give up the pick we just got from the Giants to get him. So you'd have to give up 105. So essentially you would just be trading, you would just be getting 2 first-round picks for this basically, right?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't think you do it here because I still think there's a lot of.
Let them fall. I don't like
the only one that's got a chance of taking him.
You're going to lose our 105 pick if you want to trade up here, and I feel like we just got that. What was the point of trading back if you're going to give it away? When you could have, and if you wanted Judkins that bad, you could have took him.
If he gets by here, I think we're in good shape. Caleb Johnson, there you go. So we're probably in good shape. I don't see any of these teams needing running backs.
True.
And as Cam Scatterville comes off the board, huh?
Oh.
Would be very surprised.
Now you're getting into just value picks, though.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. You better pause it, boy.
Okay, we'll pause. Oh, now look, the Ravens really could take a Judkins.
I swear he's got Ravens written all over him.
He does, and King Henry ain't playing forever. Would the Ravens trade with us? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Probably not.
You would have to give up.
They would.
133 definitely gets it done. 226. You can give up one of our 7ths. They're saying that they would likely accept that trade. I don't buy that. The Ravens would want way more than that. But we are only coming up 4 spots.
Mike, answer this one real quick. Yarrell says, why would you trade out of the first round to take Darius Alexander and you just gained the pick 105 when you could have taken Derek Harmon in the first round. Do
Right.
you think there's that big of a drop off between those two? And do you think it's worth that extra pick?
Possibly. I think anytime you get a top 100 pick, you need it because the way the Chiefs are built, we have to have a lot of cheap players, especially on defense. And so Derek Harmon, yes, I think Derek Harmon instantly is probably a little bit of a better player, but not that much. I wouldn't say it's that much of a. Now you might think so, Steve, because you said he's from Toledo, blah blah blah.
I'm not. I was just kind of playing devil's
They're
advocate
essentially
there,
the
but
same type of player. I think Derek Harmon's actually weighs a little bit more, maybe like 10 pounds or something. But Derek Harmon ran a 1.74 10-yard split. He's got 34-inch arms. Darius Alexander's a 1.72, so he's faster off the line. He's got longer arms. No, he's got the same size arms. I'll give him that. So they're essentially similar. I guess for me, it's just I don't think
I have an
defensive
idea.
tackle is that much of a need that if I am going to take him, I'd rather take him with a pick, a top 100 pick.
Listen, here's what we're doing. We're going to let it roll. We're not trading here. We're going to let it roll. But if Judkins falls to us, you have to take him for Sam.
Okay, I'll do
He's going to kill me.
it.
No way they take another running back.
No, they're not taking one. If Buffalo screws us, there's Travion.
Buffalo.
Nope, you're going
They
to get
didn't
him.
do it. All right, there you go, Sam.
Okay, I'll take him.
I bartered for
we're
you,
gonna
and
pass
it worked
up the
out.
tackle here and hope we get the tackle at 66.
Oh, we're going to get him 66 easy.
So we'll take Judkins for Sam. Sam's an OG. We'll do it for Sam. Dylan Sampson comes off the board. Dylan Sampson could fit the Chiefs.
Yeah, he could.
Ursher just
Oh,
went right
no.
above.
I thought for sure he would be
Steve,
there.
We've got sniped at the beginning of both rounds on a tackle, and this is why. If tackle is your thing, you've got to take it.
What else is left? We go to tackle.
At tackle, ain't no.
You just go there.
I mean, you're looking at Ozzie Trapillo again. He's a right tackle.
I really
Milam's
like
playing guard.
Milam, but he's going to be a guard, right?
I don't want another Cam Williams, and even Charles Grant. Charles Grant's got all the traits to be good, and the Chiefs have even met with him. Mm-hmm. But he is such a project. How many more athletic projects are we going to try to put at left tackle?
I'll tell you an athletic project we could take right here. That would be Jalen Royals.
Let's not do that to ourselves, Steve.
Okay.
I mean, Jalen Royals for us is a top 10 wide receiver, but so is Trey Harris.
I like Royals better. That's just personal opinion, though.
So, well, let's just
I
look
do
at the
like
board really quick.
I like Alfred Collins.
I would
at
prefer
defensive
Jalen
tackle.
Noel over Jalen Royals.
Not me. That's great. That's
Really,
crazy
you don't
talk.
think so?
That's wild.
Well, only because Noel's got a clean injury history, and he's from KC. He's a KC kid, so I got a little sympathy for him. So let's just look at the board here. Let's not take that much longer. So we just got a few minutes. Let's try to knock this out in the next 10 minutes. So, did you know that the Chiefs just met with Omar Norman Lott? They're very intrigued by that defensive.
Isn't he a
tackle
little
from Tennessee.
undersized?
A little bit, but he's no smaller than Turk Wharton.
Okay.
So I do believe that they are looking for a guy.
Well,
that
I've
you
noticed
can
in
do that
today's
with.
game, a lot of the undersized guys are your disruptors. I mean,
Yeah,
it
that's
started
what
with
he
Aaron
is.
Donald,
He's a
and then
tornado,
Kalijah
basically.
Cansey actually turned out to be what they thought he could be. I think Johnny Newton's going to be good. I think a lot of those undersized guys, they tend to be good. Turk Wharton was pretty disruptive last year. So, let's see. What do we want to do here? I can't believe Ursery didn't fall to 66. That
Okay, well,
blows my
look.
mind.
You could take Mason Taylor here. That wouldn't be a weird pick. If you think Kelsey's going and Mason Taylor's got similarities, I can give you that.
Not terrible.
You could take. I would be fine with Royals, Kyle Williams, Trey Harris. I would be fine with Xavier Restrepo. I like him too. I just don't know if the Chiefs do it. Jalen Noel, I like him as well. Damian Martinez is now not in the cards.
Right, but he was on our short list because of the top
Yeah.
30 visit.
Love Jordan Birch
I like
as
Jordan
an
Birch,
edge
too.
rusher that can kick into the interior, but you kind of got that already. Mm-hmm. So Chris Paul, Pooh Paul, I think that Rue Paul out here.
Pooh Paul.
He's like Pooh. I called him Rue Paul. Rue Paul out here. He's I think that was a bargaining chip before we got back. Nick Bolton, huh? When he got up there, when Brett Veach got up there and said, "There's a lot of good linebackers in this draft."
Kyle
so
Williams.
coming down the board,
Kyle
man,
Williams says to take Kyle Williams.
Of course, Kyle likes that. I love Kyle Williams. He's a smaller, undersized guy. I want to say he's got to weigh more than our boy that we took last
Take
year.
Jalen Milroe and make him a running back. That's what someone should do.
Take Jalen Milroe and let him play tight end. Speaking of tight end, you got Harold Fannin Jr. on the board. Is that something you consider here?
I do like Harold Fannin Jr. I do.
Fannin Jr. I think Mason Taylor. He edged slightly, right?
Yes, but I think if you want more upside, you want like an electric, like offensive playmaker. I think you go Fannin Jr.
Yeah, I think Fannin Jr. compares favorably to the kid that came out of Texas last year that we really liked.
Yeah, Jatavion Sanders.
That everybody said wasn't a good pick, and then he turned out to be really good, right?
Yeah.
I do like Fannin here, man. And then, okay, so look, corner might be on the board here. You got Jacob Parrish. He just come to our pro day here.
Mm-hmm.
I love Oluwafemi Oladejo. I think it's a little early for him right here.
Look, I know, like, here's the thing. That kid right up there, you passed him up. It blows my mind. He's coming up some boards. But Isaac Tesla.
Oh, Tesla.
This
He
kid
just hasn't been able to do it.
It blows
in
my
college.
mind, though. This kid's 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, he's huge.
He runs a 4.3 40. He was the most athletic wide receiver in the entire combine. And it's like no one's giving him any credit. Like, I feel like that kid could be a sneaky pick for somebody. I doubt the Chiefs would do it unless they converted him to a tight end, but I don't know if he would be able to do that. I think he could. We'd probably have to beef up a little. But I don't know. That pick just blows my mind.
So what do you want to take here, man? Do we want to let you have Jalen Royals? Do we want to give Kyle Williams?
I don't know. What y'all want to do in the chat? Everybody put one of the two. We'll take a wide receiver here just for the sake of moving
Sam says
forward.
Deion Walker. Sam also said Devin Neal, but we've already drafted a running back.
Yeah.
We can just keep drafting them.
Let's go wide receiver here.
Mason
and we'll let
Taylor's
everybody
a good
pick.
one.
Literally just put Royals or Williams in the chat.
Julia, Slam, and Sammy both say Royals. Old Pass says wide receiver.
LOL.
Nathan, I'm with you, Nathan. Dude, the tight end that I love is Arroyo. That kid is good, dude. I really like what he offers.
I like him too.
I really like what he offers.
I do like Fannin Jr., and I think that, like, as far as when he gets a ball in his hand, there's no other tight end that can do what Fannin Jr. can do after the catch. There's not. But he is kind of a risky pick. I'll give you that.
Okay, man. I think. Wait, is Arroyo on the board?
Yeah.
Is he?
No. I don't remember. Go back. I don't think so.
I don't think he is, guys. I think he come off.
Go
the
to tight
board.
ends. He gone.
He's gone. But we do have Harold Fannin on the board. So if that's something you would consider, they've got him rated a little low. Like I said, he didn't look as good as you thought he was going to in the Senior Bowl when he come up against other D1 guys. But if you go back and look at some of the big schools he played against,
why don't we
actually ate.
Well, I mean, just for the sake of keeping this moving forward, let's take the wide receiver here, and we'll see what's at the end of this round as far as tight ends go. Or
we'll take Jalen Royals right here.
Ooh, I like it. That one made me a little horned.
I know you got a little wood.
I'm not the only one. Everybody else in the chat seems to like Royals too. So
I like Royals. To me, he's got a lot of Jamar Chase style, and he don't have his attitude. So that's a positive, right? And we're not going to do any more. We're not doing any.
Sammy
more
Joe
trades.
says that that Royals jersey would be bought.
Oh yeah,
ASAP.
that's going to be a nice one in
ASAP.
KC.
Yeah.
A Royals, that's sick. Actually, now you got to get a Royals jersey that says Chiefs on the back of it. That'd be hilarious, even though it doesn't mean anything.
Buck Lissa says they would double up on a defensive lineman.
Yeah, that's very possible. They could have went Lott there, Norman Lott. You'd have had a bigger guy. You'd have had a more gap guy. So that may have been there. That could have been a possibility. Okay, Jackson Dart's off the board. So, I mean, that was probably going to be our pick here. Hey, Kyle Williams still on the board. How about that?
That's wild.
I think you take Cam Williams here, Steve. I think you take a shot at the tackle and give him a year or two to develop and see what happens.
At this point in the draft, I like it. I also like.
He
we
is
didn't take Booker. Wyatt Milam would be a hell of a guard pick right there too.
That's true too.
Yeah,
They've got him listed as a tackle, but he's going to be a guard.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's going to be like
He's
a Pro
going to be
Bowl guard.
Great guard.
Yeah, he's going to be good.
But the Chiefs have looked into Charles Grant. We've looked into Grant. I think Cam Williams. Look, if Cam Williams would have went back to school this year, he was a top 10 pick next year.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it in a second. We got a 5-bomb from our boy Bryant. He says, "Hear ye, hear ye. I'll be moving north next week, boys, from Louisiana to Springfield. Really excited. Go Chiefs." He's going to Springfield, Missouri.
Let's go.
Let's go, Mike. You know the guy that did all my tattoos, Adrian. He lives in Springfield now. He's lost his mind in his old age. He doesn't tattoo anymore. He quit that. Now he just smokes a lot of pot and he conducts the train at the zoo in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah,
he wears like a conductor's outfit all day.
Yeah, he
love
does.
it.
He
But
really
you know
does.
what? He's living his dream. He's living it up. I'm happy for him. But why?
Okay, man.
Nonetheless. All
Let's get into this pick, Steve. What are we
Appreciate
taking the tackle
5,
here?
Bryant. And good luck with your move, bro.
Appreciate you, Bryant. Yeah, Steve, are we taking the tackle here? And again, it's Cam Williams, or it's the other one. It's Charles Grant. It's two guys.
You could double up on defensive tackle, though.
You could take
Norman
Milam,
Lott still on the
move him to
board?
guard. You've got Harold Fannin still on the board.
Is Norman Lott still there?
No, he went.
Okay. There's your guy. Oluwafemi Oladejo.
Yeah, I like Oladejo.
Oladejo?
95 is
Oladejo.
about in his
Pendejo.
wheelhouse, but I would rather snag him at 105 if I could.
I like the idea of, let's see.
Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant's still on the board. Do you like him?
Oh, no. Yeah, I do. I did put him on
I
blast,
think
didn't I?
Pops said he's seen flashes of Travis Kelce and Gunnar Ham. I couldn't find
there
it.
are a little. I think Gunnar Ham could be a sneaky one. Well, let's do this. I think trenches. I think we go trenches. Do we want to go defense or offense? I think we go Cam Williams or Wyatt Milam.
I think Milam is your best,
Milam as
safest
a guard,
pick
yeah.
as a great guard. But again, if you need a tackle, but again, Cam Williams is just going to be another
project.
like, Kingsley kind of guy.
I think with Wyatt Milam, you're looking at a Pro Bowl guard.
Yes, I agree.
So I think that's a good one. I would probably do that. And in a pinch, he could pull a Joe Tooney.
He could play. He was a great left tackle at West Virginia. If I'm not mistaken, even with his shorter arms, Milam only allowed, let me get this right for you. Milam only allowed, it was something insane. 2? Is it 2? Let me see. I want to make sure I get this right. So I want to get it right.
Well, I don't care about their arms, Michael. People get too horned up about 1 inch on an arm,
Yeah.
and I don't.
Okay. So he's played over 2,100 snaps at left tackle. Think about that. 2,100 snaps. He's allowed 0 sacks in college.
Take him. Let's take him.
Only 1 hit. And he blocks as a 90.
It's a Pro Bowl guard, and
that
you
you
got
could
him
possibly get a
for
tackle
4
out of.
years, and in a pinch, he could do you a solid.
I like it. I think we take Milam here. At worst case
I like
scenario,
it
plays
too.
guard.
Let's go. All right. Now we go back to the defense. No.
Cam Williams come off the board and Charles Grant. So we were right. If you didn't take somebody there, they were taking them. But Steve, he still does not really shore up tackle immediately. I think here you might look at Fannin. Boy,
Yes, I
that would
do
just
like
be a
that.
nice
That's a
piece
good
to
one.
add to the offense, wouldn't it?
Just scroll down just a little bit. Let me see who else is available, and then we can maybe just go ahead and take Fannin here.
You got Jacob Parrish.
Jacob Parrish is a good one.
We don't need Jaden Blue anymore. There's my boy.
Yeah. Man,
Oladejo.
I know they're not going to. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if they did, but I don't think they'll double up on receiver because Bond and Tesla at that level is.
Yeah, I just
pretty
can't see
intriguing.
it though.
I don't either.
Maybe late, but I wouldn't say. So 133.
Here's my thing with Fannin Jr. Like, I feel like he's a bit. He could use some weight on him, but when he has the ball in his hands, he's a running back. The kid has
Yeah.
insane field vision, and he's going to get you. He's going to get you your yardage after the catch. Who did I full name? I didn't full name anybody, would you?
Logan Brown. Is that too early for Logan Brown? He could play. He could play tackle for sure. I think it's too early. Is it too early for Logan Brown? I think it might be. I think he's more of a round 5 guy. We had him ranked our number 17th tackle. Yeah, he's only had one full season as a starter.
Yeah, I do that to him sometimes.
What?
Michael, I call you Michael sometimes.
Yeah, just
It
a
happens.
annoying little twerp. Jack Kaiser. Steve, I think we take Fannin here. I just feel like that's good value for a Chiefs offense.
Go
to
ahead.
Be able to
We'll
grab
see
a
if it
Harold
works.
Fannin.
If it works out, it works out. You got you a great tight end to go with. Yeah,
Dude, it's
Try
just
it. Give
it's
it a shot.
another weapon there.
This was
that
a
you
free
could-
pick, by the way.
Yeah, it's a free pick. I think we take him. Let's just do it. This is our free pick, and we got Harold Fannin, the highest rated tight end to ever be ranked by PFF.
We'll take it.
And we're a team that needs a guy that we can move like that. Like, could you imagine what would have happened if we'd have took Isaiah Likely? Mm-hmm. Like what he could have done in our offense.
He would likely have never got to play, just like Noah Gray.
True.
Oh, let's see here.
Dude, I like the way it's shaping up, though. And again,
speed this bad boy up a bit.
we're kind of just taking best player available. Okay, well, we're getting repicked, so I'll speed it up after this one.
Okay.
Okay, we're back on the board. We're just going to look right here.
We're in round 4, Nikki.
We're in round 4. We're almost done. We did pull an extra pick because we pulled back. I like Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon. He's played a lot of football. I still think he's a right tackle. Logan Brown's still on the board. Could he play left? I like Jack Kaiser. Pops loves Jack Kaiser. Ty Felton's not going to be on the board here. I was
getting ready to say, I don't think he's going to be there.
I would 100% guarantee you that Ty Felton will not be on the board at pick 133. I would almost give between now and then, if he steals a car or something like that, possibly. But other than that, he's not going to be on the board.
Would you bet your left slap nut?
Probably, yeah.
Would you? Okay.
Dude, I really like Savion Jones.
That's crazy. He's a good one. And go back. I saw somebody else up there.
Savion Jones is a lot of people like Chase Lunt. I think Chase Lunt's a little big and awkward. He play right tackle.
But he can move. He can move.
He can.
Go up. I think who was it?
Was it Logan Brown?
Never mind. We have a running back. I was thinking of Brashard Smith from SMU, but we don't need him no more. All right, keep going. Tyler Batty.
Ty Robinson's a nice
Hey,
pick.
remember Tyler Batty, the running back?
Yeah.
That's funny. All right,
Luke Cater, a heck of a guard.
Mike.
here.
I'll let you make this one. Just you can go rogue here. Pick what you like.
Sam Brown. The Chiefs met with him. No. I think, you know what I'll take here? We've took defensive line, we've took a guard and a tackle, kind of a swing. This thing doesn't project it as that, so they're going to tear us up. They're not going to give us a good grade because we haven't taken a tackle yet. So you can already guarantee we're not getting a good grade here. I think it's a little. I still don't know if I reach on Logan Brown here. I think for me, I'm gonna act as if Ty Felton's not on the board because he shouldn't be. I think for me, I'll take Savion Jones here. I think you get another.
Take an edge rusher.
Another. Well, he's young. He still needs to grow into what he's doing, but he's decently athletic. And if you go back and watch what he did in the East-West, the Reese's Senior Bowl game, he was very disruptive for what he did. He kind of has a little Chris Jones vibe to him in a way where he's just like raw. And I'm going to take him. I think we need another defensive lineman for sure. Somebody that's young. He's going to only be like 21 or 22 this year. It's kind of a free pick anyway, right? So
We've had a lot of free picks.
yeah, I think from here out though, what we'll do is we stick to positions of need. I think if Logan Brown's on the board here, you probably
Real quick,
take him.
Julia strong-armed me into ending the poll, but just real quick, I asked what's the best draft strategy for the Chiefs. 45% of voters said focus on the trenches, so offensive line, defensive line.
Right.
39% said take the best player available, which is the boat I happen to be sailing in. And then
We've done both of those two things at the top, though.
I think so. And then 12% says focus on skill positions, wide receiver, running back, tight end. We've hit all three. And then
We've actually done everything that you suggested so far.
yeah, see that's the thing. We have somehow. This is why I think maybe since what's his name went to Tennessee.
Borgonzi.
Since Borgonzi's gone, I think
I'm
we could.
trying to
Do
get
you
in
think that we could be? Would he let us be
Stand-ins, huh?
Can we be like co-assistant GMs?
There'd be a lot of people.
Could we? Could we interview as a team, like on Step Brothers? Wear tuxedos.
Yeah, we could.
Let's do it.
We're back on the board. It looks like we're not getting Brady Cook. Steve, what are you going to take? I'll let you have this one. There's not a lot on the board.
All right, go all the way back to the top. Let me get a good look at her.
Yeah, Andrew Armstrong. He's actually not a bad wide receiver, but I don't think we take another wide receiver. Zoff Frazier out of UTSA. Not a bad corner. Nico Reed. Corner is something that we may look at.
Yeah, I think so too.
We could look at another safety as well. I wouldn't really throw that out. Linebacker, something we could possibly look at. Keaton Crawford from Nevada, I really like. I don't know. Holland Pierce, a lot of people like that big boy at tackle.
Let's do the tackle, and the reason being is
You want to take Holland Pierce, baby?
Well, we haven't been able to.
Yeah, we haven't hit the tackle directly.
Let's do it, and
That's a big boy.
yeah, I mean, maybe it's somebody can develop, right? And if he don't, he don't. You picked him in the 7th damn round.
Oh, he's a 7th round pick. I think you take a shot here. I like it.
Yeah, I think it too. I think that's what I'm.
Let's just go for it. Why not? I like that strategy in the 7th round. You're closing your eyes and throwing darts. Dude, I like the pick. I do like the pick. They're probably going to tear us up because we've got sniped on tackles a few times in this draft.
Mike, so Kyle says if we become co-assistant GMs, we won't have time for YouTube. So we'll make a deal with Veach. We still get to do the YouTube channel, but we'll give you our expertise. And
he has to come on the show.
Also, I wanted to get to something else that I saw. Oh, what's up, Jennifer? Good to see you. Where'd it go? Who was it? Ray. Ray says, Mike, what wide receiver do you love this year? Because, you've been kind of giving us one each year. You hit the nail on the head with Puka. Now, I have to say...
Steve, Brew McCoy's not going to be here.
I'm
going to take Shamar James here because the Chiefs talked to him.
Mike's not the only wide receiver guy because I specifically remember saying the Chiefs really needed to draft Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, I mean, I think we both sometimes can tell these receivers. You said Ricky Pearsall last year, but we don't know because he went and got himself shot.
He got shot, yeah. So we don't know how that's going to work, right?
What do you think this year? Who's tickling your fancy? Which one's hiding in the diamond in the rough?
Guy that just I absolutely am like fawning over and like just loving. But I will say at wide receiver, there's a few sleeper guys I really like at wide receiver. So I think my favorite out of the top 10, like my guy, I really like Jack Besh. I just like the way Jack Besh plays football.
Yeah.
If you go to the next tier,
I'm going with Isaac Tesla.
Steve likes Tesla. If you go to the next tier, I really think I really like what's his name? I really like Kyle Williams a little bit, but he is so undersized that if he doesn't hit the right spot,
but he will buy you tickets to watch the Royals.
'Tis true. Now, look, if you just want to say, hey, who's some guys that you like? I don't know. Like, I'm not settled on who I think is going to be the big, pick yet. But here's two guys that I like that nobody's talking about. Number one, because he ran an abysmal 40 at the combine. He ran a 4.61, which is pretty freaking slow. But Ricky White out of UNLV. He didn't have a lot of mass on him. He only weighed 184. But I love what he did at UNLV. Go back and watch some of his film. I love Ricky White. And again, this is another Ricky. Last year it was Ricky Pearsall. This year's Ricky White. Apparently I love wide receivers named Ricky. That's the first thing I've noticed. And then the second guy I really like, Steve, and I've talked to you about this kid, Jamal Pritchett out of South Alabama, 5'8", 175. He is small, but he reminds me of Tyreek Hill made over. He runs like him. He does everything. He gives you this. I really like Jamal Pritchett out of South Alabama. I love him to run whip routes and mesh routes and things like that. Dude, I would love to get him as a UDFA or possibly like a 7th-round pick. It'd be sick for me. So that was probably like 2 of my favorites.
All right. Let's go back to the top here. Let's see who's best available. And let's see what we're going to do with
let's knock this
these,
out really quick because there's not.
Last 2 picks here.
I think I moved over a page. Let me get up here. Okay, here we are. I say
I like the linebacker Jalen Walker.
I do too.
Jalen Walker's a very underrated one, but he kind of fits into more of a 3-4 defense.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's so athletic. He's so good.
Did he play with Cam Jones?
That's potential that he did, right? So there's a link.
But I don't think he did. I think he transferred into Indiana.
But we do look at Indiana though. We've done that several times. If you look back, not just with Cam Jones, but also the receiver.
Yeah.
His name's fleeing me right now, but he was from Indiana too.
Ty Freifogel.
So I mean, they do.
Mac McWilliams is an intriguing pick, but I don't think he's on the board here. I don't think Kyron Lacey's on the board here. I don't think Johnny Walker.
Let's take Johnny Walker right here, just because he's there.
Well, he's not on the board, but we'll take him.
Let's take Johnny Walker, guys. He's on the board.
I'm taking him. If Johnny Walker's on the board, I'm taking him.
And then if that dude from Indiana is still there, Jalen Walker will take him for a linebacker. He's going to be a hell of a special teams player, regardless. Boom. There you go.
He's here, but there's another guy I kind of wanted instead.
All right.
What about the one that we actually talked to Shamar James out of Florida? So I think we should take Shamar James.
Okay, sure.
We actually had an interview with him.
All right.
So let's see what happened. They're probably going to butcher us on the score, but we're going to judge this by Chiefs Kingdom, not PFF. So here we go.
Yeah.
Give us our C grade, and we'll move on.
They don't even want to grade this thing.
They're like, we hate this so bad.
Hopefully it doesn't lock up because I don't remember who all we took, and I feel like we had a pretty damn good draft.
Here it is, man. Darius Alexander, we got an A. So far, Steve, they told us we drafted Jalen Royals and we should have drafted Kyle Kennard, an edge rusher.
Stupid. No.
But we got our edge rusher, so it is what it is. Darius Alexander, second round, first pick. I like that pick. Quinshawn Judkins, guys, a C+. They butchered that one.
Y'all don't need a running back.
I don't care what they think. Yeah. I like the pick.
Yeah, I do too.
So it is what it is.
You wouldn't be mad at that.
B-. So they talked about it up here, still give it a higher pick than Judkins. They don't like Judkins. I don't like them. Wyatt Milam and A-.
I love that
Steve,
pick.
That's
I
a
love
pick.
that pick.
That was a pick right there. Round of applause for Wyatt Milam.
That might be one of my favorites, low key, in this little draft.
When you get respect from PFF for taking Wyatt Milam in the 3rd round, pick 95, that's it. Wyatt Milam.
I just like the versatility. He's going to be a Pro Bowl guard. He is.
Harold Faden. B- is ludicrous. That thing should have been an A+ at that point. Hey,
Mike got mad at the B-.
Round of applause for that one. What happens next? Savion Jones, B. I'll take that. I'll take it. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good pick. What do we got next? Holland Pierce, another B.
They're going to give us a B.
Johnny Walker, B+. He shouldn't even
baby.
be on the board. He will never be there in round 7.
No, but if he is, you're running to the podium.
Shamar James, they give me a C+. Yeah, I don't think they got linebackers in need. It is what it is. They give us a B+ overall.
We'll take it. Hey, well, I'll tell you what. You guys get in the comments and let us know what you think this graded draft is.
I think it's solid.
I think a B+ is fair.
Dude, if the Chiefs took
we had
this on draft day, I'm giving them an A.
I think B+ is fair, though, because we did kind of screw up a little bit. We lost our tackle at the beginning. We had to essentially take a running back earlier than a lot of people want to, but, I mean, the value was there. To me, I think this is a really good
We also
draft.
had to get a little tweener here with Milam. But he fits Joe Tooney mode straight up.
Yes, exactly. That's my thing.
A guard that can play tackle in a pinch.
A Pro Bowl guard that can play tackle in a pinch. And he gave up 0 sacks in his entire college career.
2,000 snaps, 0 sacks in college, playing left tackle exclusively.
Yeah, y'all put your grades in the chat. I'm gonna say B+ is fair, but I could maybe go to the A- there.
I think I'm gonna go A-.
Because if you look at what the Chiefs have on their roster right now, I think this is great, actually. Like, the only thing that you could really worry about would be like, man, y'all should have got a tackle earlier, right? Should have picked up a tackle earlier because we're not sure about Jalen Moore. But
Real says Ricky White, Nick Nash. Ricky White, baby. Kyle says, I think Mr. Relevant pick has to be the wide receiver with the name Moose.
yeah,
Also, we took Mr. Relevant with Shamar James. Okay. Let's
funny.
see. I want to see. Slam and Sammy says, I'd swap running back with Ursery in round 2.
And
That's
pick running back at
probably
95
something they
instead
would
of
do,
Wyatt.
and then pick at 95 instead of Wyatt. So he's saying that, let's see, 63 would be Ursery, and then you take a running back at 95. I can see that. That's fair game.
Mm-hmm.
That's
All right.
completely plausible.
We got. Let's look. We got let's see. We got B plus. A B from Brian Parrott. Brian Williamson says B plus.
Nathan knows. Jamal Pritchett. It's Tyreek Hill made over. I think he's a clone.
Y'all real guys say A minus or B plus. Sam gives us an A. Sam, you should have gave us an A plus for getting Judkins for you.
Yep. Sam, how dare you make us take Judkins and then you don't give me an A plus.
Sammy Joe says B plus, but
Yeah.
said it'd be an A if she swapped.
B plus for Janae. Jessica with an A minus. Gary with a B plus. Jessica says, how's it going, Steve and Mike? It's going well. Sam likes Wyatt. I do too. I think Wyatt's a great pick.
I love
there.
that pick there. At that juncture, I love it. Because
See, it's tough. It's tough. This was an exercise of what happens if something does not go your way. And if you don't get your hands on a Josh Simmons or a Connerly, you may have done as well as you can. Taking back what Sammy said. I keep hitting it at the same time. I'm sorry. Besides Sammy saying maybe you take Ursery
and Neal,
and you flip the running back, which is a complete plausible scenario.
right.
Running back in round 4 sounds more Brett Veach-esque than running back in round 2.
It does, and I like the Sammy Joe's idea, like Ursery and Neal. I like that combo, but I'm not sold that I like it better than the Judkins and Milam. That could be a tough.
Well, here's the thing about Ursery. Ursery's too big to play guard, and Ursery is still going to be a project at tackle as well.
Yeah, he is good though.
In my opinion, he's
Yeah.
still going to be more of a project. So, I mean, here you've at least got like a Pro Bowl left guard. If nothing, if tackle doesn't work out, you've got Judkins. So.
Jalen Moore works out though, and you have a Pro Bowl left guard, then you're in a better position than you were even when you had Joe Tooney.
Yeah, hindsight's always
saying?
20/20, man. But
yeah.
I liked it. We'll do more of these. I liked it. This was our first one. But Steve,
It's fun.
this weekend we'll do our own kind of what we think the Chiefs will take mock draft. Hopefully we hit on some of these.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us and doing a mock draft. You guys are freaking awesome. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. That helps us out. Share us with a friend. Tell your friends about All Chiefed Up. Let's get this ball rolling. It's time to pick it up. Pick it up for the year and get this thing rolling, man. We were trying to get to 50,000 subscribers before the Super Bowl, and we're still not even close. We're struggling with it. So we need y'all to help us out and tell your friends about us.
Subscribers kind of fell off the cliff, huh?
Yeah. Some of you guys that gifted out memberships tonight and donated. You guys are the real ones. Appreciate you all. Thanks for supporting the channel. You're freaking awesome. Also, if you're not a member, you can be one. I think I saw Desi
Some
having
people are
trouble.
saying they can't find it.
Try this, and I'm not telling you it'll work, but try going to your web browser and putting in join.allchiefedup.com and see if it should bring it straight up. It really should. So try that out. But if you're not a member, become one. It starts at $4.99 a month. You're getting at least one members only stream every week during the day, and we're also going to do the monthly members only, where we like to do some giveaways or just have some fun, stuff like that. So go sign up and have some fun with us. And we'll be back with a lot more content. Mike's been displaced this week because of floods. I've had to take the most random ways to get anywhere because of floods all week. It's been a kind of weird. So we didn't get a video out that we should have. We are going to have one teed up and ready to go for tomorrow, hopefully. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, man, that's all I got for him tonight, Mike. I think pretty good draft. If the Chiefs drafted that, if that's what we ended with at the end of the day,
I'd be very pleased.
I would be okay with it, I think. I'd be like, you know what? That's pretty solid.
But with the way we drafted, It's definitely going to be on the coaches to develop properly. These coaches got to start developing a little better than they have.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my critique. The coaches got to start developing just a little bit better because beyond Dave Merritt, a lot of undeveloped talent sitting there, a lot across the board.
Right. I like it. And then even the way that our draft went, we did end up with Holland Pierce late. And that's like somebody that might be able to, at least be
He's a
right.
big boy.
Yeah. I like it.
It's like
So not bad.
7,000 pounds.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Appreciate you guys. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Go Chiefs.